Morning, everybody. Let me just set this up so you can see it nicely. There we go. Good morning. How was your Friday? Well, it's Friday for me. I don't know if it's Friday for anyone else. Morning, Melanie. Morning. Oh, skip the ads. I don't want those. Morning. Morning, morning. Flowers are in the way. We want to see this one and this one. Not the other ones. Because they're half dead. Anyway, good morning everybody, how are you? Just setting up my stuff, having my coffee, waiting for everyone to come and join. I'll start off by the normal, quick stuff. This is the sketchbook I'm using. It's a C. Whites of Brighton mixed media paper. What is it? All media acid free cartridge paper. It's not watercolour, but I'm using watercolour paper. It's not watercolour paper, but I'm using watercolour in it. Oh, morning Shirley. I hope you can hear me. If someone couldn't say if they can hear me, okay, please, thank you, because I know I'm still videoing on my phone, so sometimes the sound doesn't work. And I've got the microphone plugged in, and it's right by my face. So this is the first page. I'll start off with a flick through. You're good, thank you, Manny. Then the bees, then the roses, then I'm not sure what that was. That was just a some bright coloured things. That was when I don't know what to paint. I seem to paint something like this, you know. And then this was, I put gesso underneath. Little bee. Morning, Lisa. My dulcet tones. Morning, Sherry. These was those Inula Magnificata. Look, I remembered it this morning. Must have had a good night's sleep. Now, I didn't sleep very well last night for some reason. And then I was up at 4:20. I'll be ready for a nap after this. And this was, no, this wasn't yesterday's. I missed a day. This was the fennel, and I'm not sure what I've got to look up what they're called. And then this was yesterday with the sweet peas and the cornflowers. You might notice I've added some wiggle bits. I did this morning whilst I was just fiddling around, and some little extra bits on the, I can't see my zoom. You can see that I put some little pencil marks in. So yeah, there we go. And this morning I'm doing the Queen Anne's lace, which is this stuff. It's like it looks like hogweed or cow parsley, whatever. There is another name for it. I don't know what it is. So I should have looked it up, shouldn't I? But it starts off like this. You can always tell that's the Queen Anne's lacy one, where it starts off like that and then it opens up like this. This isn't a very good example because that's tiny. Normally it would open up like the fennel, this one here, can you see? And it's got the lovely little white flowers on it, and then it has this little flowery skirt bit on it. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to paint that, even though it's white and pale. And if you saw the photo, I had a nice photo of it on the holding card for this morning's painting. So I'm thinking I might use my flippy floppy. Morning, Sue. Good morning, good morning. So I might use my flippy floppy brush this morning. It's a Pro Art sword brush. And I'm just going to mix up, it's quite like a paley green. I've got my palettes, I call it my crazy palettes because it's a bit like how my mind works. It's organised for me, and I don't wash them that often. Occasionally it goes for a wash once, it just makes mud, but at the moment it's fine for me. I've got my greens and yellows and blues and purples. It's all sorted out in my head, sort of colours. even though there's green with the purples, the pinks here. So that's weird. Oh, someone was asking me about this, and I didn't come and look at my palette. This one here. Asked me what colour this was. This is Naples Yellow, Van Gogh one, of the red shade. It looks pink because I've got another colour mixed in with it, and I didn't realise. I've got, oh gosh, what's that? Gosh, it's supposed to be gosh, gosh. If you hear a jingle, it's my doorbell. It's like people walking past or stuff. Let me think. It's this colour. It's that colour. I'm going to put a bit more in there actually because it's running there. But I think I've got either a bit of this one mixed with it, shell pink, which is probably, yeah, I think I've mixed both of these. Shell pink by Mission, and then the Van Gogh Naples Yellow on the red shade. And they both look fleshy pink colours. So I've got them mixed together in there. I won't be using them today probably, but I've just put them on so you can see. Them over there. So it's the colour I use loads of, absolutely loads. Anyway, back to what I'm doing. I'm mixing up using your sword brush is not good for mixing colours. Don't try this at home, guys. I don't know where my other brush is. There it is. Oh, it's down here. Let's just mix up a colour. I'm sort of a bluey green, because it is sort of a bluey green. I used to think I was crap at mixing up colours, but I'm not. I'm quite good at it. And I'm going to say I'm good at it now because, you know, it always feels weird to say that you're good at something. Actually, I am good at it. And I'm going to say so. This is like dropping stuff everywhere. Right. I haven't mixed up enough there, but the variation of colour would be good. Where am I going to start? I'm starting by the stem. And then it's got this like frilly bit before it that looks a bit like the fennel leaves. So I'm just like, again, it's not a botanical painting, so I'm not getting it all completely right. What I'm trying to get is, I'm going to keep saying this, is the essence of the flower. And then I just dropping that in. And I've added some, I've got some dusky colours from Van Gogh here, the dusky greens, which are good to use. So I'm going to stick that back in there for now. These, I don't think I've painted these before. I've painted loads of like hogweed pictures and things like that because I just love the flower shapes and I love the fennel and that, but I don't think I've painted the Queen Anne's lace because last year it didn't come up. I think it must be biannual, so it comes up every other year in my garden. Last year it didn't come up. And then I'm going to paint the, I'm trying to paint these bits, the stems, but it's very dense in there. You can't really see through it, so I'm going to have to, I'm not quite sure. Can you see? Sorry for my hands sort of getting them, and then I'm going to attempt to do all the little closed up bits. You don't have to do every single one. Don't get bogged down by the details, just the sort of try and get the shape of the flower and the, I'm going to say it again, the essence of it rather than trying to paint everything, because you can't paint everything because it's silly. Going to add some darker greens, just try and get it in there. splodged in. That's okay. Hopefully I can get this. It's just a quick painting. And I think using the swords brush is helping me not to be so tight. Sometimes when things are small and you're trying to get things all together. Bye Shirley. I hope all goes well. Yeah, see you Monday. And that's going in there. Right, that's sort of it, isn't it? Then I'm going to try to do an open one next to it. I'm going to try and do it so it comes off the side of it. Because I've got like a kinky bit there. Let's do this. Usually, what I noticed about them, I do look at the flowers. There's usually like a leaf that comes off of the join. So if you're going to go paint the flower, I'd suggest go and look at it first, and then either paint it from like life or try and paint from your head brain. Like I do sometimes, like I did for the, this was like just like in my head, and then you miss out some of the details, but you get the like the essence of the flower. If you like go and look at something and try and paint it without it in front of you. Does that make sense? I don't know. Right, I'm going to try and paint this one. It's a slightly different shape to the fennel that we did, because it sort of, it goes like down where the fennel ones go up. I don't know if I'm making that clear. If you look, they're not so, what's the word, symmetrical? Yeah, I suppose that's the word. Right, let's see if I can get this. They've got white flowers on the end, which is going to be weird to paint, seeing as I have, you know, mix up a grey colour, light greeny grey, to do the flowers on it, but I'm just putting in some stems from what I can sort of see the shapes. Flick that out there. Oh no, it's annoying. That's annoying, Lisa. I don't know. I've never really watched myself live. Well, I haven't got it full screen. Hang on. I do watch myself live because it's there. Yeah, the chat disappears, isn't it? Why can't they have it doing it over the top? Oh, Melanie's asking me if I'm excited about my open studio at the weekend. Honestly, I don't know. I was like, I ached today because I was like gardening like a mad thing. I am excited about it. For those people who don't know, I'm open with the National Garden Scheme. It's like a charity. I opened my garden. I did it last year, and I did it in July. It was hard work to get it done. But this time around, this month, because we had that ridiculously hot weather, everything sort of died. So I'll be like, welcome to my dead garden. But I'm opening my studio as well. So I don't know why I did that. I blotted it off. I'll be like, welcome to my studio and my dead garden. But yeah, I am a bit excited, but I haven't got everything done yet. Yeah, just in a month. When did I open? The beginning of July? Is it the beginning of July? 3rd of July, yeah. The garden was lovely then. It's like in its prime, I think. Everything was beautiful, and we'd had some rain and it was nice, even though the weather wasn't very nice that day. It's supposed to be good this weekend. And yeah, it's just like, things haven't grown. My peas haven't grown. The vegetable plot is really disappointing. Usually I have like tons of veg. I've got a few courgettes and that's about it, and a few beans have started to grow, but I had some last night and they were really like tough, and that's not right. They're not supposed to be like that. And runner beans, and it's quite early for them as well. Normally they get tough when they've like been old things hanging around, but anyway, even though they're not white flowers, you get the gist of what that is. Yeah, so yeah, I am excited. I've still got loads to do. I've got to pick up all the weeds. Well, it's going to be the best it's going to look. And I do write in my I was featured in the National Garden Scheme newsletter thing, email, yesterday. So I'm hoping to get lots of people coming. I think I've got the bee people coming. They didn't come last time when they said they were. You know, they said they're going to come this time, so hopefully they're going to come. So they'll be all about bees and things, which should be interesting. The local bee people. And then I've got pipers coming as well. Like they're Northumbrian pipers. They're like squeezy box, not. They're a bit like bagpipes, but they're not bagpipes. Yeah, I noticed that, Lisa. The blackberries are out. I was like, what's that over there? And I was like, oh, it's the blackberries. So I'm going to make, tomorrow is my cake baking day, because I bake cakes for people buy cake and tea when they come to my open garden. And I made this lovely apple cake last time, so I'm going to make it again because everybody kept asking me for the recipe, and I was like, I just sort of made it up. Which was great, and I'm so glad it went down well. For oh no, it's not going to taste good. I'm quite good at making cakes. Got that from my mum. And but I don't follow the recipes. So when someone asks me what the recipe is, I'm just like, oh, well, you stick a bit of this in and a bit of that, and I'll do it all by sight, so I can't exactly say like the total ingredients. It's quite funny. I'm like, oh, you just stick a bit of that in, and then you stick about a handful of that. I use my hands a lot. But I'm going to make cakes tomorrow, and I thought I'd make I've got some apples that I have in my freezer from last year, so I'm going to make the apple cake again, and then I thought I might make a blackberry and apple crumble cake, so that'd be good. Yeah, they're good, aren't they? I love visiting them, the open gardens. Last year I had loads of people. This year, I know the weather wasn't very good in the beginning of July, but hopefully this year, everyone was saying they're going to come back. People that came, and I've got some train spotters coming as well, because I had this strange man call on my front door the other day, and he was going, hello, and I was like, hello, and he's a bit of a weird one. He's sort of the guy that doesn't look you in the eyes, so he's a bit of a nerd. One of those people, because he's a train spotter, and he's like fascinated by trains. Apparently, my house was owned by, I've forgotten his name, Thomas, gosh, that's good, isn't it? Thomas somebody. It's related to the person who invented the steam trains up there, the Stephensons, George Stephenson and Robert Stephenson. Is that the ones? Yeah, he was related to them by marriage, and it was their brother-in-law or something like that, or their cousins, something or other. And he lived here from 1825 until he was 75, so it's 1890 or something like that, because my back wall's lowered, and there was he did all the engineering for the trains that were put in here, which is really interesting. And in my cellar, I've got like where it's like kept up in the cellar. It looks like there's, you know, you get the beams, that steel beams that go across. It looks like I've got a railway, one of the steel railway track things that are in place of an actual beam. That's sort of like holding up my house. Because behind my back of my house, it would have been, before they built, there's like 3 houses down there. Before they built the 3 houses, you would have had a view to the railway bridge, which was the first iron bridge in the world or something like that for trains. And it's in the train museum somewhere in Liverpool or something, I don't know, somewhere. And it's not there anymore, and the train track's not there anymore, but you can walk along the train track. And the old Victorian, early Victorian station house is there. You can see that from my house. So, and the walls lowered behind it, so they had a view of the trains. So I've got all these train spotters coming. He says, oh, they probably won't be very interested in your plants or your art. And I went, oh, no, that's fine. Did you know you have to pay to come in? It's all for charity, so hopefully they just come along. They can enjoy the pipers anyway. And marvel at the wall and stuff. And go, oh yes, I've been in the house that Thomas, oh, I've forgotten his name, Thomas S. I put it somewhere. I put the little, I'm going to look for it now. Can't find it. I did written on a bit of paper. I should write a little thing out for everybody that comes to visit the house. So I've like found out some history of my house, which is good. This one's just sort of opening out, so it's just like that. Anyway, I think I'm sort of done. I wanted to put something else with these, but they look quite nice just like that, don't they? Maybe I'll do another open one here that can come up. Because I've got 4. It's not good, is it? Yeah, that's what my stepdad said, Lisa. I can get a blue plaque for the house. And I don't know how to do that. Or maybe I just have to contact the what do you call it, council. I'm sure they have one, because the guy was like, thought the house had been knocked down that he lived in, and he like came to my front door and he was so excited. He goes, I've actually found the house. I thought it'd been knocked down because they've changed the road name and the numbers of the houses, but I figured out that it belongs to this house, and this, he lived here and everything. So he was very excited. Morning, Jono. Yeah, there's lots of history here. Yeah, I know many, but you have the like Native American history, don't you? That goes back loads and loads and loads and loads before it was wiped out, I suppose, most of it. I'm not getting into political things. Is it really hot there? We had hot times, but it's okay now. It's only like 20, 21, 22. It's nice. It got up to like, was it 36 here? That's why all my plants died. It's like, what the hell's going on? We don't have that. It's abnormal temperatures for us, but it only lasted a couple of days and then it went back to normal and rained for a week. Have you got a hosepipe ban, Lisa, down there? We haven't here yet, which I'm glad of because I need to fill my pond up. There's so many reservoirs up here. I've never seen so many reservoirs. I think this is where all the water is. It's up here. I have to send you some down. I've got like 5 reservoirs within a 20-minute drive, like in different directions. I'm just adding some little darker bits. These are supposed to be white flowers, but you know, you can't paint white on white, so you have to compromise. I was going to have my coffee before it disappears. There, I think I'm finished with this. 37. Ew, that's how hot it got here. You know, everything died because they're not used to it. But, my poor son, because I was away down in Sussex where it wasn't quite as hot down there, he watered the garden every day like I asked him, and he went, oh, I tried really hard, I did water it every day, and I was like, yeah, I know. I don't know, I just stayed, even when I was in Sussex, it wasn't, we were right by the beach and it wasn't as hot, but there was one day it was really hot and I couldn't go on the beach and sit in that heat. I was like that, so I just stayed in the flat with the fans on and the windows open. We don't have air conditioning up here in this country either, only in like hotels probably have it and shops have it, but most places don't have air conditioning. We don't in our homes. Yeah, so yeah, that's enough of that. But it's supposed to get up to like 25 at the weekend, which would be nice. That's a nice temperature. I don't want it to have like it on there. Oh, Janelle, I don't think I could cope there. I'd melt. I'd faint. I went to Africa because my ex-husband is Nigerian. My son's half Nigerian, and I've been to Africa like 3 times, and it was like 40 degrees or hotter when I went once. Oh, they didn't have air conditioning because it was like quite a poor village. I think I melted. I got heat stroke, I was dizzy, I didn't feel good. Plus the food and everything. But yeah, that was an experience. But the other times I went, it wasn't quite so hot, so that was okay. But I got bitten to death because it was the wet season. Mosquitoes and things. Anyway, enough of that chat. I finished. That's my Queen Anne's lace. I quite like it. It's quite really delicate. I've got into quite delicate painting, haven't I? I've just sort of noticed. Look, these are quite delicate. That's delicate. That's quite delicate. That's I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I'll be back here on Monday morning if I haven't got a hangover from celebrating the end of all the hard work of my garden and open studio. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, it's nice to sit here and chat. Maybe you should see me when I'm chatting instead of just looking at my page and my hands. Anyway, thank you. Please give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe as well if you haven't, and hit the bell. There's a bell down there somewhere, you can do that. And I will see you on the Monday morning. Have a good weekend, everybody, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.